Welcome everybody to this CVTV, and today we are joined by Intermedia Cloud Communications, in particular, the Senior Director, Service Provider Sales, Alistair Quinteros. How you doing, Alistair?
Very, very good. Thank you, Brady. Always great to talk to Channel Vision Magazine and the great folks at Backup Business Media.
Oh, I appreciate that. And it's always great to catch up with you, honestly. We've had some really good interviews.
Well, you know what, we've been not just with Channel Vision, but with the event recently, CDX. I mean, I think we're there right from the start, and we continue to be there. So it's sponsoring and showing up and that sort of thing. So want to thank you and Burge and the rest of the team for your partnership over the years. So thank you so much.
Of course, yeah, and Intermedia has been a great partner for Channel Vision Magazine. Would you be able to talk about the service provider program? I keep hearing about it.
So our service provider program, we're calling it Ascend. And to explain it correctly, let me give you a little context. Let's roll back the clock a little bit. So if you're a service provider, you really do very well, and they absolutely dominate in those simple voice SKUs. Fax, POTS, ePOTS, emulated POTS, PRI, SIP, hosted PBX, Centrex, these sorts of things. The service providers dominated that space. And around 10 years ago, when the platforms that they ran, their platforms was able to allow them to offer some level of UCaaS type SKUs. What has happened is they really struggle beyond that. They really struggle in that UC in the contact center, those add-ons, call recording, collaboration, SMS, contact center. The service provider really struggles at that point. And they've just been losing market share. They've been losing customers, losing revenue. The RingCentrals, the Zooms, right? The 8x8s have really been feasting off that base because the service provider is unable to uplift those hosted PBX users as those customers now want more things. They want more feature functionality. The service provider just didn't have SKUs to be able to offer that to them. Not anymore, Brady. Not anymore. So this is where the Intermedia Ascend service provider comes in. We're here to now offer the service provider a way to take back that, to win back, to be able to have feature parity against RingCentral, against Zoom, against 8x8, and be able to do it with their brand and do it with their network. And that's what our service provider program really is all about. Their reach, their great footprint, their fiber, and it's a win-win-win. If you're the customer, you get one invoice, one support number, all your wireline services, wireless services in some case, your SD-WAN, your DDoS, all these sorts of things that you get from the service provider. Now you get the UC and CC. And with the service provider, what they get from us is they are now forever current. If you're a service provider, it's very difficult to, especially with your platforms that they're going away, the Metaswitch, the BroadSoft, all that. It's very difficult to keep current. Now with us, we will forever keep them current. They'll be able to have, a competitive, margin-rich, modern UCaaS, CCaaS with their brand, with their network, and now they can go ahead and focus on being a great ISP, SD-WAN, security, all those other things that carriers want to do. And we also provide them an instant team strategy as well.
Well, it does sound like it's really is a win-win-win. Now, how are you kind of helping carriers with Teams?
Wow, Teams is a big, it's a very big opportunity if they do it correctly. Now, Teams typically what they're doing, what carriers are doing today for the most part is, some of them are exiting voice, and some of them what they're doing, simple direct routing. So they make some investments with their network, SBCs, this sort of thing, and then they'll sell SIP trunks to those customers that went off and got Teams from somewhere else, and they have a good relationship with their carrier, and please provide some dial tone to my Teams. Great. Some all went all in, Operator Connect, big investments in their network, rethinking their strategy, their margins, that sort of thing. So it's not very margin rich. So the way how we're helping service providers with their team strategy is taking back, giving them back those margins. They have a customer that wants Teams. They have a trusted relationship with that customer. They're providing them their wireline services. They've been a customer for a decade plus, but now they want Teams. Well, what do? Well, with the Ascend program, you can now offer that customer, let them use their Teams interface. Our SKUs, our PBX SKUs, contact center SKUs, will now live inside of a Teams interface. So now the service provider, sales engineering, and sales teams can solution that customer, that for those power users that are in front of a computer and want a Teams interface, go ahead, use it. And if the base Teams feature functionality that comes with Teams, if it's not enough from a voice perspective, then go ahead. Contact center, more PBX features. The service provider can now sell them PBX SKUs, contact center SKUs that'll live inside their Teams experience. Because maybe there's a lobby phone that doesn't need a Teams endpoint. Maybe there's a fax line that doesn't need a Teams endpoint. These sorts of things. So there's probably, there's probably points in the customer's organization that doesn't need a Teams endpoint, but they still want to use the Teams collaboration tool, the file sharing, the co-pilot, the chat-to-chat within the organization, that internal collaboration and communication. By all means, use Teams. So, what we're here to say is, if you've got a customer that has Teams, by all means, give it to them, and then give them more, give them contact center, give them more feature, voice PBX features. But if they're not married to Teams, you've got a white labeled solution over your network, feature parity, and go ahead and compete against. Just don't capitulate to RingCentral. We're here to help you out.
I know, it sounds great. It really does sound like just a great prospect for sure. Alistair, if people want more information on this and other things that Intermedia has going on, where can they go?
Well, they could go to intermedia.com. We do have there we've got all sorts of information, not just in our service provider program, but maybe you're an MSP, maybe you're a Lenovo dealer or a Microsoft dealer, or perhaps you're a Brother dealer. Maybe you are an Avaya dealer. Maybe you're an MSP. Our Intermedia services all sorts of partners. We're open for business. Please come and join us. We're happy to talk to you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the time here today.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Brady.
Of course, yeah. And while you guys are online checking out Intermedia and all the great things that they have going on, don't forget to also visit channelvisionmag.com. On there, you can find great CVTVs and podcasts and webinars and white papers and just lots of great on-demand content right there on channelvisionmag.com. Don't forget to also like and subscribe on YouTube so you know when fresh episodes drop. And that's going to do it. This has been CVTV with our good friends Intermedia. Everybody take care.